Hi, gonna have a quick look at cable today. And a warm welcome to one and all. For those of you who haven't seen me before, my name is Langers. I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy trader. No shock there. I do have toys everywhere. And what I'm trying to do is kind of inspire you with your own trading. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, please click the like and subscribe button. It genuinely helps. And if you are subscribed, smash the little bell icon. So what am I looking at cable today? Well, earlier on, I shouted out to the guys in the Scruffy squad what I was going to be doing. And it is here. Talking of things that's here. Love of my life. Little Winky supplier of coffee. Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. Where are you off to?
Check the Easter eggs.
You want some eggs, do you?
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Okay.
You've got yours.
I've got mine. Yes, I do. I have a giant Easter egg. Sorry. Show them what you've just picked up.
Well, you said you wanted a McDonald's.
My wallet. Yeah.
Do you want a McDonald's? Or not?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Splendid girl, and so helpful. Do you know she's been showing me how to stick the pole up?
It is real life, what you see in these videos. Nothing's ever scripted. It is literally just me firing up the screen and just showing you what I do on a day-to-day basis. And the beauty of being a trader is you can work at home and spend most of your time with your best friend. And in this case, Winky. And when she's at work, I go down to her office and I terrorize her there as well. So it's best of both worlds. Anyway, talking of worlds, let's have a look and see what we are up to. So, as I was saying before, love of my life rudely interrupted me. I called out to the guys on the Discord group that I run, the Scruffy Squad. And if you're interested, there's loads of details for it in the description. And it's here. Exactly what I'm looking at and how I'm planning on trading it. And I do this regular. In fact, I do it pretty much every working day I'm at the screens. I also do the strengths for them as well, where I'll work the strength sheets out, and I'll show you that just a second. And then, of course, we have a little bit of chat amongst ourselves about various different things. Mindsets, Forex, indices, whatever it happens to be. Anyway, so let's just move this to one side and have a look at the chart that I am looking at and why I'm looking at it, more importantly. Well, the first thing I do each morning is I work out the strengths. I need to know what the movers and the shakers are of the market. And with this, you can see the pound is very strong, followed very closely by the dollar. Now, at any given day, the pound dollar will move regardless of what this sheet tells me. It's one of those products that has a decent range within it. Okay. But what it also highlights is things like the pound Swissy, which I'll keep an eye on. But if I look over on my heat meter, the pound Swissy here is highlighted. So it's telling me to keep an eye on it. All right, so I'll keep an eye on that one as well. But this is where I focus a lot of it. Excuse me, where I focus a lot of attention. It is the change of strength, because the strength's worked out over a couple of days, and I want to see if there's a shift in balance. You know, is one starting to overcome the other better? Because when you look at a sheet like this, and whether you see it on sort of FX Factory or whatever, they are telling you movement, not direction. All right, and when they're at extremes, they will contract and move in. So here, this contradicts what's going on up here. So that's telling me the pound is now at its top. It's stretched out because the dollar is overtaking it. All right, so that's kind of how I use that. So when I look at this chart, it's kind of confirming that. And why is that? Because you can see it here. Indecision on this candle. Now, when I was showing you the Discord group earlier, I did that around 11 o'clock and it's now 20 to 12. So I've been watching this over the last hour. And what I've marked out, I just run this out to a daily so you can see it. So you drive up, push down, and it's pushing up, and it's coming into this key area here. You can see there's a stall there and a stall there, and it's gone up and it's tagged it, and it's now working between these two lines. Okay, now these blue and purple lines are what I call daddy lines, and they're basically taken off this candle here, which is the last full day. And if I look at Sunday, yesterday, because it's only a few hours trading on a Sunday, it did catch the midpoint and it's respected this as well, this end of this open of Friday. So it's a level that I marked in. And what daddy levels are, it's the open, the close, the high, the low, and the midpoint. There is a video on it called Who's the Daddy? Check it out, it's good. So what else can I see here? Well, there is pressure to the upside, but it's a very strong level. So take it down a step, see what's going on. Well, it was a solid push up, bit of consolidation, big push up, which could be an exhaustion because that tail is quite long compared to that. But in the grand scheme of things, that's it's still not quite enough to make a decision of. Okay, and why is that? Because it's not one way or the other. It's not like a hammer where it's to the top. But what it is telling me is there's the drive, there's a consolidation. That could be an exhaustion. All right, and you see it before. There you go. It's drove up, bit of consolidation, push up, exhaustion, sell off. That might be this, but that's best guess. So I'm going to take my decision from the hour, and the hour is there. All right, and as you can see, it's turning. Now I've marked in areas where I can put orders, so I can get an order from there down to there, the green one down into the yellow down to the dotted line down into there. So there's plenty of things I can do. If it goes against me, I can order here to bounce down, order here to bounce down, negating sort of any losses, if you like, using Scruffy Madness. And what Scruffy Madness is not going into a position full tilt. You just go in a little bit at a time and you build a position up. So you're getting them at better prices all the time. Okay. So how do I work this out? Well, if I drop it to a 15-minute, I can now start looking at the makeup of the candle. Right, it's breached that, it's breached that. There's about 3 minutes left of this candle here. That's 25 into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little order into this to start with. Just at the base of there, down onto there for £5. All right. So I'll do that now. I want it to be an order. That is there. And I only want it to go to about there. Right. So let's have a look, see if it's worth taking this trade. Well, I don't think it is. Okay. Just get rid of that. Okay. So if I edge that up to there and then pull that down. Right. That's better. Okay. And why is that? Because I want at least 5 ticks. You know, I'm not getting 5 ticks, and when I say ticks, it could be pip, point, whatever. It's just the way I talk. A tick to me is just a price movement. Okay, it's basically a point. So let's have a look and see whether we should be taking this trade. Well, yes, showing signs. Get worth 5 ticks, so we'll place the order. Right. Just on the base of there, onto that. So that's our first main target point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that trigger in, and the idea is to get down onto here, building up positions. Now I'm expecting the price to bounce along here. Reason being, that is a strong level, that is a strong level, and that is a good midpoint. So what you're wanting to do is you need to capitalize on these little areas. So what I'll do is I'll draw a little line here, just there, just like that, and I'm going to drag that onto here. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing all the way through this afternoon is I'm going to be letting it get to a level here, take so much off the trade to see if it can run, and then as the trade, if it moves back up to there, I'll enter it again to come back down. If it goes up there, I'll enter it again to come back down. But just take little bits off each time. But once it gets underneath this red line here, this red block, I'll just let them run. But I'll pull the orders into a risk-free situation. Hope that kind of makes sense. Like I say, it's all live. You've just got to look at the chart, make your choice, and then trade it. And for me, I think this is on a short. I'm maybe stepping into it a little bit early, but I'm not overly worried because I'm not massively exposed at this moment in time. So what I'll do is I will let this play out. I'll just leave the camera running so you can see what it is I'm up to, and then I'll come back to it at the end and I'll explain what it is I've done. And that was that, guys. All done. Just bear with me. Everything's pretty much gone to plan. Sort of. It's 4 o'clock. Just been stopped out. Let's see what the scores on the doors are. There you go. £402 and 10p. And all you've seen me do is a little bit of Scruffy madness. All that is, it's just scaling into a trade and scaling out of a trade. As you saw, I was opening, closing trades as we go. Now, that has half dropped. So looking at that, it looks like it may well be trying to push down here. This is a daddy level. And this particular trade that we're looking at here was called out from this sheet. And this is why this sheet is quite important to me each day, because it helps guide me through what I think is potentially good trades on any given day. And for this one, it had pulled out the pound the strongest, Swissy the weakest. Now, as you can see, what it was doing is the pound is very strong, so most people would think that would be going up. But that's not necessarily the case, as we've just seen. Because when it gets to sort of the top of its scale, overstretched if you like, it has to release the pressure. And then what you do is you look at the bottom side to see if there's a change of strength. And sure enough, the Swissy is actually gathering pace when the pound is losing. Same thing with cable. And therefore what you do is you wait for a logical entry point and then just trade it. And my logical entry point was this green zone here. And as you can see, the blue line running through it, it married up to a daddy level. And it was a case of just ride it into the next zone, take a little bit of money off, ride it down to the next level, which seemed to be the logical place it was going to, which it has here. And that's that. Job done. And likewise, if I just quickly drop back to cable, oops, get rid of that. Yeah. Just get rid of that. Right. Like I say, it's all live, guys. Mistakes do happen. There we go. There were my levels. Now, earlier on, I looked at this. That was the first logical point. My thought process was up to this level here, which it's come up. It's respected that level perfectly, but we don't know, which is why I scale into it. I'll scale up to where I think it's going to go, then I'll scale out of it coming down, as we did here. And the bounces in the middle give you little bits of extra money. And what essentially I'm doing is I'm taking so much of the trade off, leaving a little bit of a runner on. When the price moved back up into the area, triggers a new order, let it come down, take so much off. And it kind of builds up a full position while being paid. And then you ride it in, and then you have a section where once it's got past that certain area, you just ride it out and move your stops down. Simple stuff, guys. Simple stuff. So I hope that all kind of helps. And if you're stuck, by all means contact me. My contact details are below. And if you want to see how it all got built up, check the Scruffy Squad out. Dead simple. But the basic premise of what I always do is I work out my zones and I trade from zone to zone. And then when I get through that zone, I then work out to the next zone. And it's constantly zone to zone. It just helps break the chart up. It helps break up the orders. And it kind of keeps my psyche in check. And I know there's lots of colours on the screen, but I'm just visual. It's kind of how I do things. I just like to highlight the levels clearly. And that's it, really. So a good day has been had by all. Say this got shouted out well before I took the trade. Can't be any fairer than that, guys. And that's that. Do it all again tomorrow. So wish you well, and as always, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.